Welcome back everyone. Let's factorize the binomials. We have factorized the trinomials in our previous video. In this video, I will go ahead and factor the binomials for you. So we'll discuss the first one, a squared minus b squared, which is also known as the product of sum and difference. So when you get a question like this, it comes with a practice, but it becomes pretty obvious. You see two terms, and what you need to make sure is that the exponents are multiples of 2. So they are even numbers. If they are even numbers, then we can convert them into a squared minus b squared form. So let's take first example. I have 9x squared minus 1. I know that 9 is a square of 3 and x squared is just a square of x. So I can go ahead and write 9x squared as 3x squared minus, and remember 1 raised to the any power is 1 itself. Now if you notice the formula above, I have my a and b values. So I can go ahead and convert this into a plus b and a minus b, which would be 3x plus 1 and 3x minus 1. So we have factorized the polynomial, the binomial 9x squared minus 1. And kids are often confused, what does a factorization look like? A factorization, factors are nothing, but if you multiply these two terms, those two binomials that we got in the end, it will give you this binomial back. It should give you this binomial back. So it's a good check to keep in mind. If you multiply your final factors, you will get the polynomial or the binomial back. Remember, when you are factorizing, always go ahead and check the terms in your factors, the terms in the parentheses. So 3x, look at the numbers. So 3x and 1, they should not have any other common factors. If they have any other common factors, you need to factor it out. Alright, let's go ahead and do another example. And I will go and change and tweak the first example that I did to show you how does having a common factor looks like. So let's take the same question, 9x squared minus 1. And what I'll do here is to show you, I'll go ahead and multiply this by, I'll take the same example, 9x squared minus 1, and I will multiply this by 2 to create a new polynomial, a new question, and show you if you get something like this, how should you take care of it, how should you factorize. So my new question is, instead of 9x squared minus 1, I have 18x squared minus 2. So remember, the first rule is to always check for the greatest common factor. Look at your numbers, 18 and 2. Is there a common factor? We have 2 as the common factor. Look at your variables now. Both the terms, they do not have a common variable. So 2 is our only common GCF. And then if you factor it out, you get the same question back. So remember, we just factorized this. This would be 3x plus 1 and 3x minus 1. But remember, since you factored out 2, it was called as GCF. The word F here is factor. Don't forget to write down this factor also as part of your final answer. All right, let's go ahead and do another question. 4. I have n to the power of 4 minus 100. So in the beginning, I know that students struggle to see the special case here, but remember, check if you have two terms, is it a binomial, and then check is the power even number. If it is an even number power, then we can convert it into a squared minus b squared form. So what is a squared? A squared is a number that has been raised to the power of 2. So if someone gives you n to the power of 4 minus 100, you need to try and think of ways how can you raise n to the power of 2 but still get the same exponent back. Now what comes at this point? At this point, you must remember the exponent properties. Which property is useful in this case? Remember, the power of the power property. So if we raise a power to the power another power, then the powers or the exponents should be multiplied. So what should I multiply the 2 on the outside to get 4? This is easy. I can multiply it by 2. And we'll do the same thing in the case of number. The number is simple in this case. We have just 10. I know that 100 is 10 squared. So I again have my A's and B's. I'll go ahead and write it down into A plus B times A minus B, which would be n squared plus 10 and n squared minus 10. This is our answer for this question. Let's factorize the cubic binomials. A cube minus B cube. And A cube minus B cube has the formula of A minus B, A squared plus AB plus B squared. Easy way to memorize this formula is, you can see that the sign of the question and the first parentheses is exactly the same, but the sign of the middle term in the next parentheses is different. So you can say it's same, same and opposite. Remember, the sign of this last term will always be a positive term. This will always remain a positive sign. And then let's write down the formula for a cube also. A cubed plus B cubed. A plus B, A squared minus AB plus B squared. Remember, same pattern here. Same pattern. You have the same sign for the question and the first factor. And then for the second factor, the sign of the middle term is the opposite. Alright, once we are done with this, let's go ahead and do a question based on this formula. So let me go ahead and insert 343x cubed minus 27. So if I get a question like this, the first thing I need to see is check the exponent. Is this exponent an even number? It is not an even number, so I can rule out the previous formula that we learned for A squared minus B squared. Now this is a cube, which is kind of a hint that we need to try and convert this number into a cube. So if you remember your perfect cubes well, you should know that 343 is a cube of 7, and x can be written as the cube of x itself, and for 27 I can write 3 cube. So let's see the formula for A cube minus B cube one more time. So it would be A minus B, A squared plus AB plus B squared. Alright, I just found out my A and B values, and now I will go ahead and put those values in the formula. So the first parentheses or the first factor is A minus B. So I can go ahead and write A minus B, which would be 7x minus 3. For the second part, we need to find A square. Now the most common mistake, and I have mentioned this many times in my math fails as well, this. That's not what we are doing. A squared means A times A. And if your A is 7x, then it means 7x times 7x. So I need to put a parenthesis around it. I'll have to put the parenthesis around it. So once I put the parentheses around it, my next term is minus AB plus AB. So I'll go ahead and multiply my A and B. A times B plus B squared. So you'll get 7x minus 3, 49x squared, 21x plus 9. And now at this point, because this looks like a trinomial, a quadratic trinomial, a lot of times I have seen students getting confused. Do I need to factorize the second term again? You don't have to. This is the factorized form, and that's why we have this formula. So this would be your answer. Alright. Now, can I do the same question but change the sign for plus? Absolutely. So if I have the same question but with a plus sign, the only thing that will happen here is some signs will change. So in the question I have a plus sign, if you go back and see the formula, you will see that for the plus sign, the first parenthesis has a plus sign and the second parenthesis middle term has a minus sign. So that's what I will do. I will simply change the sign of first parenthesis to plus, the middle term to minus, and the last term will stay the same. So your final answer would become 7x plus 3, 49x squared minus 21x plus 9. There will not be any other change. So this is 343x cube minus 27, and this is 343x cube plus 27. Okay, so remember, these binomial factorizations are not very difficult. It just comes with a lot of practice. Don't forget to like my video and leave a comment for me. Please like and subscribe my channel, Math Easy, for more math related and science fun videos. Bye for now.